Hey y'all, it's Indigo here. Got my Territory Wars battles today. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. A lot of pretty standard counters. The first one should be no surprise. I've got a Galactic Legend Ray squad, and I'm taking my own Supreme Leader Kylo Ren up against it. I do have the ultimate. I think that this Ray did not have the ultimate. So probably pretty similar to what you're seeing in Grand Arena or an arena or in your own Territory Wars. People don't want to tear up too many squads, so they end up using kind of a standard resistance team. You know, Holdo for the tank, another fifth, but usually just resistance or L3 or Xeris. Par for the course. Unfortunately, the banners suck. If you're using this team, you're going to end up going down to 1v1 with the two Galactic Legends facing off against each other. You can see that's where it's headed here. I'm just trying to get up Kylo's ultimate, build up that percentage, and it plays the same way. If you're up against an ultimate Ray, you want to try and get your ultimate charged up. That way when she goes into her ultimate stance, you can do yours, and then that way you can tank out her hits. But, you know, this one didn't have it, so there's no sense in wasting it early. I'll just wait till I charge it up a bit. You can see I took in Watt. I figure if I can put the tech on my Kylo, that's at least going to give him some extra power when he gets down to just himself versus Rey. That way you don't have to worry about dying as much. He's in his ultimate, so obviously nothing's going to happen to him now. I'll wait till he gets to 100 and then hit the button. You can do that, again, if you're not against an ultimate Ray. When you have to deal with an ultimate, then it gets a little bit trickier on the timing. But you can see I'm not really in danger of losing it. He does plenty of damage. It's just, again, crappy banners. If you're going to do that, you'll one-shot it, but only 16 banners for that one. The next battle is, again, another battle you guys should all be familiar with, and it's just a gas 501st, and I'm taking my CLS with the Rebels against it. I use C3PO here instead of Watt. I really haven't gone back to using Watt here, just because I like him with Supreme Leader Kylo. I like him sometimes with a Grievous squad on defense. I like him with First Order to take out Night Sisters. There's a lot you can do with Watt, so I hate to throw him in an already good team when C3PO, you know, doesn't do a whole heck of a lot elsewhere. So you guys know the strategy for this. Just go hard at gas, try to get him to take a knee. As soon as he drops to his knee, you want to get fives out of there and not make super clones. That would be a big no-no. And then, of course, I want to taunt with my old Ben. That way, once Gas gets back on his feet, he's going to go after him. And if he kills him, I'll get the death bonuses. You'll see that. He goes after Old Ben. Old Ben tanks it out a little bit. But that's why I want his taunt to still be up so he gets all the action. Because as soon as he dies, he's going to power up the team and help me, you know, finish this team off. Luckily, I'm able to get him to take a knee. And now they kill Old Ben. So I got everybody juiced up. Just got to finish off these last two clones before I can kill this team. Now's when you got to be careful. Because if he dazes Chewie or kills Han or something, this run can go to hell real quick. But as you see, it did work out, and I was able to get 19 banners. So now I just did another one right after that. I figure this is probably one of the tougher zones. I used my own gas in a mirror against another gas, so you guys know how this goes. We didn't really have to worry about saving gas to go against Kylo. The guild, we had plenty of Galactic Legendary characters, advantage over our opponents. So that's just the way it worked out for us this time. I was able to burn gas versus gas in a mirror here. And you guys know how that goes. It's really not a problem. You end up getting about 19 banners. Once you can get them to make super clones on your side, take out their fives, then you don't really have anything to worry about. So that's all I'm trying to do here. You can see fives is gone. Now I'm just going after their side, trying to get him down as fast as I can and take out as many other clones before gas gets back up. If they have a really tanky 5s, you could actually end up wasting your whole turn, and their gas will get back up on his feet, and it just drags the battle out a really long time. So watch out for that. Check 5's mods. See if he's got like all defense sets, all protection primaries. It can be a mess. But as you can see, I got their 5s out. And you just work on getting the rest of the clones out. Once gas gets back up, you can drop him quick with your super clones. And then once he's back down, it's really not a problem. I do try to save Rex's big hit. If you can, you notice there's opportunities to use it, but I like to try and save Rex's big hit. I could have used on the clone right there. And I like to save it for gas because it's a sure shot. Just a one-hit kill. When it gets back around to Rex, there we go. Boom. Done. And then went on to worry about him killing somebody else on a counter. So 19 banners for the mirror. And this was a fun one. Okay, we came across some Night Sisters. You don't see those all the time. Sometimes they're there. So I picked a decently relicked one. I think all the characters were relicked. And all my bounty hunters are relicked up except for Dengar. He's still gear 12. Everybody else is minimum gear relic 5. So I wanted to try out Mando. Haven't gotten to use him since I bought him, really. He doesn't get a whole lot of action. And so if you go Bosk lead, they have a pretty easy time tanking out the plague. There's just so much healing that you don't really have to worry about it. The only bad thing is they get stunned quite a bit, and I don't have grief, which after trying this out, this is my first like real demo of bounty hunters in action, you know, against these Night Sisters. And so without grief there for like a cleanse and for giving Mando the bonuses that he needs to get his disintegrate, I don't actually get to ever use that disintegrate. I get to use Mando maybe a couple of times, and that's about it. Because every time it gets back around to him, he's stunned or someone else is stunned. But the reason this team works pretty well is because in addition to all the survivability, you got Execute from Boba, and then I've got the Zeta on Jango's Unique. So once he kills somebody, they're going to stay dead, aside from the free zombie saves. So with the 2 Fets, and then of course Mando's Disintegrate if he ever does get to use it, that's 3 options you have to kill something and make them stay dead. And that's going to pretty much negate the revive mechanic from Mother Talzin lead. And then you also don't have to worry about Old Daka bringing anybody back either. So keep getting stuck behind Zombies Taunt. This battle does go on for a minute. For a little bit anyway. But you can see that there's really no danger of dying. Everybody's got full health. Pretty well good set on protection. I just keep getting stunned an awful lot, which is annoying because I can't get to the Night Sisters that I really want to and be able to just start taking them out. I really wanted to disintegrate some Night Sisters, and it just didn't work out that way. Every time Mando got to go, he was lacking a buff. It took forever to get the contract off. Just a whole mess of things. Still, though, was able to finish for a perfect 20 banners, so got it done. Next up is me taking out some bounty hunters, and these were some pretty good relic bounty hunters with Mando, with grief on there. So I took in my JTR, and the reason I was able to use this team is I've got everything set for Galactic Legend Rey, who I actually just unlocked last night, by the way. I got everything relicked up and ready for her. So I got the Resistance Hero Bros up to their relics, and they all got mods and everything ready. So that's going to soup up this JTR team. You can see I read their abilities because I'm not quite sure what does what. I know Finn's moves. I don't really know anything with Resistance Hero Poe because I haven't really had a chance to use him on offense to do anything. So learning that as I go, trying to read what does what, and they kept wanting me to pick an ally, but the description didn't say what it does to the ally, so I was reading that a couple times. Had to look it over and see what's what, but you can see Obviously, like a standard resistance team, there's a lot of control, taking back their turn meter, using stuns effectively. I don't even let them be able to move. I've got everybody under stealth with just BB-8 out there ready to take the hits, and he's got foresight, so no danger of anybody that's a key piece dying. It's just ultimate control with this resistance. So even though it was a fully reliced up, real stacked bounty hunter team, JTR is a perfect counter for it and will handle it quite well. And I know you guys are saying, oh, that's the same thing we've been using, and it is, but just when you use the new characters like Grief and Mando, could add a wrinkle to it if you don't know what they're doing and you miss something and they end up disintegrating your ass. I don't know. But that doesn't happen here because, like I said, you just push back turn meter, get plenty of exposes with R2's burn, and as long as you keep exposing, you're going to keep proccing that turn meter. Your team gets to go, theirs doesn't. And so that's all I'm doing is taking my time to see who I can hit, who I can expose. You try and actually keep more of them alive as long as you can. If you can keep them dealt with by turn meter reduction and stun, you can get an expose on them. So it's worth keeping them alive. So easy 20 banners for them. Okay, so on this one, I've got a fast Thrawn. So what I do is turn meter swap to Traya first thing. And then as long as my Traya goes first, which you want to check their speeds, and she does, turn meter swap to Traya. I like to isolate Padme, and that way she can't give them all the protection up. But you can see Snips was able to go and just one-shot my poor little IPD, who is gear 12, but still was able to just one-shot it. So I honestly could just four-man this team, and the end result would be the same. Maybe better off throwing a tank or, pre-taunt in there or something, but something that has a little more staying power. The rest of my squad is pretty well reliced up, so they're not going anywhere. But again, as long as I'm able to turn meter swap to Trey in the beginning, isolate Padme, and then just as I'm able, I fracture GK. I know a lot of people like to do it differently and isolate GK and fracture Padme. I just find out the squad can't do anything if she's not calling the assist with her kick. She's not healing everybody. She's not giving them protection up. So I was able to take out Anakin pretty early on in the fight. Once you get him out of the way, you don't have to worry about him taking a bunch of turns, doing some heavy damage. And again, with Padme isolated, there's just no protection up. And I've got Annihilate up, was able to take out GK. Now I can just work on who I want. And Snips, as she keeps assisting, is going to end up killing herself anyway. So it doesn't really take a whole lot to bring her down. Get some hits in on her, and you can see that she's already in the yellow. I went ahead and used Fracture on Shakti, just because that way that's one less person I got to deal with. Almost got Snips out of there. She's gone. And now I've got an isolated Padme and a fractured Shakti. Yeah, they can't do anything. So there's no danger of losing this match. That's why I like it with keeping Padme isolated the whole time. I know people like to isolate GK and not have to deal with his taunt. But again, like I said, I just fracture him, and then I'll just annihilate him and get him out of the way as I'm able. Now it's just cleaning up Padme, and that's it. Annihilate her, she's done. 19 banners, no problem. Here's one that you guys might be seeing. We see these sometimes, and other wars we don't see them at all. But if you come across a Newt Separatist squad, First Order makes a really good killer to this squad. They've got Nest in there. That's why I like First Order with them. First thing you want to do is make sure you go first, as long as you outspeed their Dooku. I tried to find a Relic team, but the only one Relic on here was Nest. Everybody else is gear 12, but the principle is the exact same. As long as you go first, target Dooku, get him out of there, then you don't have to worry about him putting people under stealth and feeding him turn meter. Lots of bad things can happen if he stays around and is able to speed the team up and give them stealth and all that. It really goes bad. So you want to take him out straight away, then it doesn't really matter. You can take out Nest whenever you get the opportunity. get a big hit in on her, do some damage with Executioner just as you're able. After I take out Dooku, the next biggest threat I would think would be Droideka. I mean, because I can't really touch Jango at the moment, as long as he's got that damage immunity. But we'll take out Droideka, just get him out of the way, and then we don't have to worry about him knocking anybody out, which, again, is less of a threat at Gear 12. But when you're dealing with a relic one, you definitely want to start taking them out quick. Now I've got Newt, I've got Jango, who's damage immune, and then I've got Nest, who you got to watch out for the hits. So I went ahead and took a life off of Newt there. Now he's under stealth. Going after Nest. Tried to do a big hit just to see where she was at. Obviously, it did absolutely nothing. It was a waste. But that's fine. I've got her stunned. So now once she comes out of stun, you'll know that she took her turn and she can be damaged. So now she took her turn and can be damaged. So next time I get a big hit, I can use it on her and do some damage. Right now I'm just going after Jango until I cycle back around to somebody. Here we go with OG Kylo. And I'll use his special here, which also will stun, which is handy. You can see I got Nest down into the red. Now I got Hux, send some turn meter over to Executioner. Give Nest the coup de grace. Done. Newt's done. Now Jango. That's what I love about Executioner, being able to take all those turns one after the other. So easy 20 banners there if you know what you're doing. This one, you can see it started off with the flames. It's because my run went down in flames. And this is a counter I've used a lot, actually. And you guys have seen this in other TWs and in Grand Arena. Pretty standard. MT-led Night Sisters against a vanilla Grievous team. Just plain Grievous droids. And they're all relicked up. Decent relics on them and everything. And it just ends up going wrong. Like, sometimes them's the breaks. You know, you can't control everything. And maybe I did misplay it, but you'll see where it goes wrong. Anyone that's familiar with this team knows that if this happens, it's like, uh-oh. So I got Plague on the board. Everything's going along kind of business as usual. Trying to take out his B2, get B2 out of there. Then you don't have to worry about all the extra damage and them taking a bunch of turns and everything. But you pretty much just kill who you can. Droideka went after Talzin instead of Daka, which is always a plus. You got to keep your Daka alive. If you guys don't know this by now, Daka is the key to this squad. You need to keep her alive and keep her healthy. And right there, she's at half health. She is able to bring everybody back, which that's usually how it works. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. So I'm going after Magna. Grievous does his AoE, kills a bunch of people. Look, Daka brings them back, and I only got Spirit back that time. So just Spirit to deal with. And I'm trying to try and do something, and look, right there, Daka got stunned, and she's at half health, which is the worst thing that can happen. When she is stunned and she's low health, they go after her. And that's why I paused and was like, what do I do now? So that's where it went wrong. Once she got stunned and she was low health where they focused her, yeah, there's nothing you can do there. So someone else was able to clean that up before I jumped in and was able to clean up my own mess. So I don't have the rest of that fight, but it's an easy cleanup. The last battle I've got for you here is just Geos. And since we end up burning Artrea on a Padme team, which is kind of the preferred counter for Geos, show you guys Jedi Knight Revan against the Geos. And I've got Anakin with mine because I also use this team to counter Darth Revan, and I didn't get a chance to do that this war. So instead, here we go with Geos. And it works pretty well, but check this out, you'll see. You get down to the end and there's no way to get in touch with Spy. He's under stealth, and look at that. He just knocked out my Revan, which sucks, you know, that happens at the wrong time. So I'm trying not to do too much damage to him so I can end up bringing Revan back with Jolee. So I heal up with Yoda. Now it's Jolee's turn to bring Revan back, and now I can hit Spy and get him out of there. So it's not like GA, don't have to worry about protection. Just got to make sure it's 5 alive, 20 banners. And that's all my battles for this war. So hope you guys learned something. I had fun doing it. We'll catch you next time. Shout out to my buddy Mikayas. He runs a modding service. He'll go through, make sure you got the right squad compositions and the right mods on the right characters. Give your account a real nice tune-up. I'll put the link to his Discord in my description. Go ahead and check him out. Tell him Indigo sent you. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share your comments down below, and hopefully you'll check out my other videos on my channel. Peace.